Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Jen with Lighthouse Oracle, and I am bringing you another pick a card, pick a group style reading. Today we're going to be focusing on what your natural abilities are, what your natural gifts are, kind of your essence. I feel like we're going through a lot right now. We're still in a retrograde, and this is all the way until the 21st. Although this is a timeless reading, I mean, retrogrades come and go, so you could also be watching this in the future during a retrograde. But I just feel like, we should hype each other up, and I feel like, what's the best way, me as a tarot reader, that can hype you up? And I feel like this is the perfect way. So we have 4 groups for you today. We have group 1 with this little doggy charm here. We have group 2 with this little turtle. So cute. And we have group 3 with the bird. Adorable. And then we have finally for group 4 we have this little bee. Can you see this? I hope you can see this. Okay, so the way pick a card readings work, you just use your intuition, your gut feeling, whether it's all the cards are the same but maybe one stands out to you, or the charms, whichever resonates with you more. Since this is a general reading, maybe more than one pile may resonate with you, so feel free to watch more than one or all of them. Up to you. I will leave that for you and your intuition to decide, but all the timestamps will be posted in the description box down below. And yes, so we're going to go ahead and get started with pile 1. Hello, group 1. This is for everyone who picked pile 1 or this little doggy charm here, and we're going to look into what your natural gifts abilities are. So this card is going to kind of represent a general what your natural gift is, and then we're going to dive deeper into tarot cards, and then we're going to get some messages, some advice on how we can utilize these gifts, how we can expand on them, etc. I kind of decided to do this really last minute, so I don't have much of a structure, but please bear with me. I don't know, I was just really called to do this type of a reading. I feel like, we just need a little hype up, if you noticed in my intro, so I feel like if you've picked this, and I drew these charms out specifically with like an intention in mind for people who pick, the charms themselves have a meaning. So I feel like for you guys who picked this dog charm, I feel like you're all like really loyal, very like someone that you can really count on. I feel like I can go to you for like anything, and I feel like I wouldn't be judged. I feel like you're all very open-minded, open-hearted, because also dogs are all about unconditional love, and they're just, man's best friend, and I feel like I can be best friends with you. So let's take a look at the card. I'll put him right there. So the card that is representing of your natural gift is number 17, the inner child. All the decks that I use in my readings can be found in the description box down below as well. But when I see this, I definitely get a sense of like that childlike wonderment. And I feel like that really goes well with this dog charm as well, is that I feel like you channel your inner child very well, in the sense that maybe, we're growing up and we have to do adult things and we have to pay bills now. But for you guys, pile 1, you really, take the time out to, interact with your inner child, whether it's, through your creativity, through your, you have a nice balance between how you play and, using your imagination and your creativity to kind of, I wanted to say rebel against what society deems as, a true adult. I feel like people tend to kind of conform adulthood into like a box. Like you just wake up, you go to 9 to 5, you're super boring, and you're just, you know, very day-to-day routine, kind of mundane. But I feel with this group that, I mean, there's such a sense of like innocence and playfulness that, and maybe to, you know, because you're an adult now, that maybe for some of you, you've had to kind of dim your inner child, kind of like, you know, push it to the side a little, like, oh yeah, we don't have time to play. And maybe that could have been like a reoccurring event where, you know, you suppress your inner child a little bit, you kind of like, you know, push them away, and every so often they'll come back and they're like, hey, you know, you wanna play? And even though, you know, in your gut you're like, yes, I want to play, like I definitely see an image of like a child and a puppy, and they're just like playing together, and you know, that kind of interaction. And I feel like, you know, a lot of that could have something to do with the, you know, societal constructs, things that limit us, limiting beliefs, you know, the expectations that, you know, adults have of being an adult, and not truly embracing, you know, the power and the strength your inner child has. Because I'm also noting the green here, which this card is represented by the heart chakra. So, you know, I feel like the way you speak from your heart, the way that you interact through love is through the eyes of a child too. You know, I feel like sometimes, and that could be taken advantage of, you know, as we grow older, is, you know, I feel like you're very giving, you're very empathetic, you understand, I feel like you understand people's needs more than what they think their needs are, if you know what I mean. Like, I feel, yeah, I'm just kind of getting that, and loyal, that very loyal, very loving, like almost that unconditional love. Because even the image here, it's very soft, very that, you know, baby pink. And I do see like a little angel here, this like wings. And I feel like you tend to shoulder a lot of burdens because people see you as like a guardian angel, even though everyone has an inner child. But for some people that haven't been able to, you know, connect, or have, you know, neglected their inner child for so long, they see you and they're like, ooh, I like this, you know, I feel so welcomed, I feel so loved, you know. I feel like that there's that kid that just like, oh, let's, you know, just like pulls your hand and drags you to play with them, and, you know, it's like, answer this phone, you know. I'm just kind of getting that, but more on an energetic level, you know, and that's really cool. So that's what I'm getting. I mean, that's a beautiful gift, and I'm getting like goosebumps. And I'm really sorry if I stumble upon my words. Retrograde hasn't been very nice to me in terms of my speech, but yeah, I definitely feel like your biggest gift is your inner child. And I feel like sometimes, because like I said before, you know, societal constructs, limiting, you know, things that, external circumstances that have limited you, I feel like maybe for some, you know, you felt like you had to, it's kind of like they forced you to view your inner child and your inner child essence as a flaw more than a strength. But I see there here that I just feel like you have a very pure soul that may have been hurt by the harshness of, you know, this life and the people in it, and the people that may have not grown to, or have evolved into integrating with their inner child yet. And I just want to tell you that your inner child has so much more wisdom. And I feel like sometimes, you know, I'm getting that message, you know, oh, you're just a kid, you'll understand when you're older. But I do feel like children have so much more wisdom than we give them credit for. And I feel like that's, that goes for you too. Even as you're more connected with your inner child, you probably have just this playful energy about you. I feel like sometimes you could be a little bit, I feel like this is no fault of your own either, but I feel like it's been dimmed down because, it's probably, maybe it's not, you're in a meeting and you have to be, act like an adult. And if you, try to be silly, they look at you weird or they think that you're unprofessional. So, but let's dive a little deeper with some tarot cards. I'm getting so much information just from this first card. Maybe I don't even need it, but let's look at some more information. So this is the Affirmators Tarot. I think it's super cute. And I'm like, yes, I think this connects very well. Let's look at let's clarify your natural gifts. And yeah, let's see because I do get almost a sense of I'm getting a Five of Pentacles energy in regards to maybe feeling, left out in the cold. Because you want your inner child to take more precedence and to lead the way. But I feel like there's, things that are blocking it. But let's take a look. Let's clarify. Can we clarify the natural gifts, abilities of we're gonna take these because they all came up right. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, is there anything else? No? That's it? Okay, I think that's good. So I feel like that's good. Sometimes I just have to go with my intuition, really. So we have the Five of Wands. Yeah, I feel like there has been a lot of conflict perhaps in terms of people not accepting that, your light, your inner child. And so you've had to kind of enter this King of Pentacles energy, because the King of Pentacles is very practical and stable. So then you've had to kind of work with the energy of becoming more stable and practical. What does that look like in the adult world, in the external world? And that's really interesting. We have the Four of Wands. We have the Six of Cups. So more like childlike essence. I hope you can see all these cards. These are kind of big. Maybe I shouldn't have used these. We have the Seven of Wands. We have the Star. The colors are very similar, so I almost turned that over. We have the Star, and we have the Empress. I feel like, yeah, and this just kind of confirms what I was saying even before I drew these cards, that you have so much going for you in terms of, if you can access and balance out integrate your inner child so that your inner child doesn't feel like they're being left out, but also not making you feel like, it's kind of like, it's that fine balance of you feeling like you're not, because sometimes your inner child could be, I'm getting that kind of bratty, immature way, and especially with the Five of Wands, you can be having constant battles with yourself in terms of, okay, when can my inner child come out and play? It's like, oh no, this is not the time, and just kind of fight, because I feel like all of these, fireflies are like different parts of you that are just trying to, make their point, kind of just, they're just trying to fight to see who can win and who can kind of which part of you can overcome that obstacle more. And I feel with the King of Pentacles, Four of Wands, and Six of Cups, because the Four of Wands talks about stability, foundation, healing, homecoming, like a family. I feel like you have to kind of parent your inner child at the same time. That's kind of what I was getting. It's like not allowing your inner child to take over to the point where, if something doesn't exactly go your way, maybe it's like getting that extra so hurt about it when, you know, things don't exactly align with how your inner child wants to interact. But not shutting it down so much to where your inner child feels unseen. You know, it's that fine balance. It's like you can't give a child, you know, candy 24/7 whenever they ask for it. You kind of have to parent. And I feel like maybe, you know, and that may have caused a lot of this conflict here, because it's kind of like, you know, why do I have to parent myself? But I feel like, I mean, at the end of the day, we interact with ourselves the most. And I feel like maybe too, this could be for a select few that have had some, you know, childhood traumas, childhood related traumas, and where like the parents didn't exactly give you those nurturing, you know, that made you feel seen and heard. And it's kind of, I'm getting that parent that just says, oh, because I told you so. And you're like, why? And then they're like, why are you arguing with me? I told you so. And so I feel like that's kind of where this conflict can be coming from as well, is the way that your parents taught you isn't the way that you want to teach yourself, but sometimes you fall back into those patterns because it's like, oh, well, because I told myself so. But in doing so to yourself, you're kind of shutting parts of yourself down too. And so, yeah, that's where I'm getting this conflict. But I do see you trying to defend, you know, all this. There's so much beautiful energy here. With the Six of Cups is super playful, innocent, very, like, super relaxed and very friendly. And I mean, look at this turtle. He's so happy. And I do think of the Six of Cups. There's this one tarot deck, I believe it is the Light Seers Tarot, where the Six of Cups is like a little picture of a puppy and a child, and then there's like grown up, and the puppy is now like a growner. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like an adult dog, and then the man, now the boy's the man. So I feel like it's kind of that unconditional love that you want to give to yourself, and therefore you're like defending yourself against, you know, people that don't agree with your essence or that don't agree with your energy, because you may be triggered. And that it could be a mirroring effect too, right? You bringing out your inner child can result in someone else feeling like their inner child is more neglected. So then they take it out on you because they're like, oh, so you can, you know, you can interact with love your inner child, but I feel neglected now. And I hope that makes sense, because I am getting that. Like, I feel like when these conflicts come up with other people, they feel their inner child's like projecting through them what they want from themselves, if that makes sense. And I feel like they don't really understand what it is, so then they just fight with you about it too. When I see the Star and the Empress here, I mean, so much hope, so much renewal. I feel like if we can balance the inner child more and bring some, like, you have I just want to like give you all a hug, because there's so much beautiful energy here, but I feel like you weren't treated very fairly because of it. But I do see, you know, this is your gift. This is your natural ability. Your natural ability to bring out the inner child within others will only bring up more abundance and more hope and more renewal within yourself, rather than just focusing on just the internal fighting. The internal fighting can, you know, you can create harmony within yourself, you know. It's that's where the whole self-parenting comes in. Like, hey, you know, and you don't have to be harsh with yourself either, being patient and saying, hey, maybe that's enough, you know, boundaries, we got to create boundaries. Maybe that person isn't exactly awake yet, We got to give them time, you know, because sometimes kids can be a little pushy too. Like, hey, why aren't you happy already? And they're just not ready. So I am kind of getting that need to parent yourself more in the way that you wanted your parents to parent you. You know what that feels like. What inclusion feels like. You know what nurturing feels like. So then sometimes, as adults, we have to, and if you're not an adult watching this, you still, you can still parent yourself. You can still nurture your inner child. But I do feel like with that comes way more prosperity and abundance for you. Because the inner child is so underrated. I feel like this is like the unsung hero. Like I'm seeing like the underdog. I feel like maybe you've felt like you weren't seen and that you were the underdog in a lot of situations, and maybe, without you realizing it, your inner child is what helped with your success. And I feel like if you allow yourself to integrate instead of fight with yourself more, parent yourself, right? Integrate. I feel like your potential and, your growth will be so beautiful and abundant. But let's look into, I don't want to take up too much time, but let's look into some advice for you. This is just my reading, my interpretation, but let's see what Spirit's advice for pile 1 is. So we have this deck. I just recently purchased all of these. This is the Soul's Journey lesson cards. Let's see what Spirit's advice. Oh, I just got instant chills. Okay, that's good. All right, awesome, amazing. And there's 2 cards, but the happiness really just direct to the 6 of Cups. And there's dolphins here, and there's dolphins here too. So I feel like just channeling your inner child more, and maybe this affirmation can help. So this says, happiness. I am aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. And this one says, worry. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. So yeah, I feel like, and there's so much purple and green here too. And the green really focuses on the heart chakra, and the purple is more on the third eye, crown. So I feel like, integrating both can help you, maybe some meditation around these areas, but I feel like these 2 cards are so similar that it's really interesting. And maybe these affirmations can help you integrate with your inner child more, like I said earlier. But let's look into a final 2 cards. I don't think I'm gonna use these. But let's look at the self-care cards. This is a self-care, the Sacred Self-Care Oracle. Like I said, they're gonna be in the description box. But let's see maybe what self-care can help enhance your natural gift. What is the self-care advice Spirit has for pile 1 in order to enhance their natural gift, their inner child? Oh my gosh, that's cute. Okay, so this one is plan a vacation, number 39. And I definitely see this as kind of that, maybe not, I know we are still in a pandemic right now, but, safely plan a trip. Maybe not even going somewhere, but because I see this woman, this person, and they have their third eye open, and I feel like Spirit's asking you to interact with her. Look at both of these cards, right? There's one white kind of line here, and I feel like the third eye will help you interact with your inner child and take your inner child places, right? Read a book, watch something like that that your inner child would enjoy, something that has mystical, like magic, and the adventurous and things like that. And I feel like that would definitely help you recognize and interact and care for your inner child more, and allow your inner child to interact with you. And yeah, so that's what I'm seeing. I'm gonna go ahead and end the reading here. Oh my gosh, all my cards just fell. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the reading here. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel if this reading resonated with you. Let me know in the comments what you think. I know I probably should have made a structure for this reading, but I'm just kind of going with the flow, and this feels right to me. I feel like it went a little over time, but your inner child deserves it, and you deserve it, and yeah. I hope you all take care, and I hope to see you all in another video, okay? Bye. Hello. This is for everyone who picked pile 2, group 2, card 2. For all my friends who pick the turtle charm here, he is super adorable, if you can see him. But I had intentions when I drew these charms and picked these charms, and I feel like for people who picked pile 2, especially, well, I mean, of course, specifically, that you may be very slow with with your actions, but steady. And I definitely am hearing slow and steady wins the race, slow and steady wins the race. Like, you're very resilient, very persistent, and if you have your eyes on something and you have a goal, I feel like no matter how long it takes, you know, you're going to get there. When I see and I am also seeing this more as like the sea turtle, because sea turtles can travel thousands and thousands. I'm so sorry. I'm filming this during a retrograde, Mercury retrograde, and my communication is very off, and I'm so sorry. So please bear with me. But when I see the sea turtle, they travel thousands and thousands of miles with very minimal effort. All they do is really just find, you know, they're slow and steady, so they're very meticulous in finding that perfect current, and then they just swim towards it, and the current takes them. So I feel like you also are really stable, and you really do go with the flow. I'm definitely feeling that here. But I also feel like, too, with this harder shell on the outside that I'm like really noticing this outer shell, and, you know, you've had to build up your you've really had to build up your boundaries over time, and yeah, I'm so sorry. I heard something and I'm alone, so that kind of freaked me out. But it's also super windy, so really it could just be a leaf hitting my window. But yeah, so that's what we have for the charm. Like I said, I did have intentions, and for people who picked pile 2, hello, you're super stable, you're super calm. Even though sometimes you don't feel like you are, maybe in your head you're like, oh my gosh, why isn't this here yet? Why isn't this here yet? I feel like you're subconsciously you're just going with the motions. You're still just going with the flow. Even though maybe, you know, in your mind, not your subconscious, but in your conscious mind, you're like, okay, is, you know, I'm doing all this work, where's the fruits of my labor? Is it here yet? Maybe if you go into those modes, sometimes you still kind of go with the flow. Like, your body's just like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna just be here chilling. I'm still gonna take my time. So I'm getting a little bit like a nervous turtle here, but this card is going to represent your natural gift. And we're also going to go into tarot cards and oracle cards for additional messages, as well as advice on how we can enhance and further expand on this natural gift of yours, so you can use it for your highest good and your highest benefit. Okay, so we have this card. This is the number 30, I Am Presence. And this is with the crown chakra, so I feel like you're very intuitive. Like turtles too, you know, they are slow, but they naturally intuitively know where that current is. So even though they're, you know, not rushed, and they're not exactly just like, okay, it's just very intuitive. And especially with this I Am Presence, I'm also getting too, because you're very grounded. You're just naturally very grounded, and because you're so grounded, that's what helps your intuition. That's what helps your, because it's kind of, I'm getting, that that story of the tortoise and the hare, of course, that slow and steady wins the race. But also I'm getting that kind of, when you're in that mode of go go go, and you're not grounded, and you're not allowing yourself to sit and think about the next step, and kind of, you could rush 20 feet ahead but then be in the wrong place, so you have to go back 20 feet to get to change your direction, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of picturing like a fork, or like, multiple paths in the road, and you go really really fast down this way, and you're like, oh, that's not where I wanted to go. So then you rush back, and then you go down another one. Instead, the turtle, I feel like for you, pile 2, you really just like sit there and you're like, okay. And so it allows you to feel which one, and this all aligns with your intuition. And so if I'm seeing these 4 paths, you're just like, okay, I feel 3. I feel this one. Okay, we're gonna go with this one. And then, like, because, you're constantly co-creating with the universe and constantly co-creating with spirit, you're giving spirit enough time to channel their message to you on which direction to go. And then so you're just going with it, it's like that current. I am totally getting those current vibes. So this is your natural ability, even though, like I said in the beginning, sometimes you may get inside your head a lot on, the progress and the status of your, your progress and where you're at right now, and go, go, go. Are you at the destination yet? I feel like intuitively, and your subconscious and your higher self just knows that this is the best path for you. So your body can be like feeling very calm. You may not be super anxious, but you can have like these running thoughts in your head as well. I hope that makes sense. Because I'm getting that. I don't know why I'm picturing, I'm like I'm getting the idea of like folding laundry. And when I'm folding laundry, sometimes I'm just like, why can't I fold faster? I just want to be done with this. But I'm still going the pace because it's efficient. Because if I'm just like trying to fold it really fast, I fold it 5 times over, and it's still not as fast as if I just did it methodically once, And yeah, that's what I'm getting, and I hope that makes sense for you guys. But let's look into your tarot cards and further expand on this I am presence, because your natural gift, although I mentioned this is your natural gift, your natural ability, these are the things that kind of come easy, but they could also be heavily challenged due to external circumstances and environments, and how sometimes these natural gifts and abilities can be shushed and dimmed down a bit, so we are in the world of very fast evolutionary technology. Go, 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 Why is my Amazon Prime not here yesterday, So I definitely feel like for pile 2, maybe, with the way things are progressing in these times, how fast things are going nowadays, maybe you have been feeling kind of left behind in the race. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let's go into the tarot cards. So this is the Affirmators Tarot. Affirmators Tarot. I love this deck. It's so cute. I love the way it feels. Like it's not like cardstock. It's super bendy and amazing. But let's expand on your natural ability, the I am presence. What do we need to know about pile 2's natural ability? What do we need to know about pile 2's I am presence? What do we need to know? The only thing about this deck is that it's pretty wide, so it takes me a little bit more to shuffle. But what do we need to know in regards to pile 2? What do we need to know in regards to pile 2? Okay, I filled these ones. Oh, Knight of Pentacles, the Lovers. That's cute. I love that. Yeah, see, the Knight of Pentacles is also very slow and methodical. You have a very loving heart, and I feel like, maybe you've I feel like maybe you've seen some shit. That's like the first thing that came to my mind. And so because you've seen so much of the world, because you've taken the step back and you're so present, you're able to see so much more. And in doing so, that brings out so much more compassion and love within you towards other people. Even if they're not, yeah, see the Four of Pentacles. This could be one of maybe a potential block or potential challenge that I mentioned earlier about how maybe, you know, you can, this natural gift can be challenged by, you know, challenges by people that don't see your gift as a gift, right? So we have the Four of Pentacles, the Hermit, Temperance. Yeah, super slow energy. And I feel like it really just makes sense with everything that I mentioned. Is there anything else? Is there anything else for pile 2? And oh, that is, oh, the star. The star came out in pile 1 as well. That's beautiful. Anything else? Is that it? Yep. Okay, that's it. So I want to shift this down. So there's that. So we can spread these out. I hope you can see all of the cards. So we have the Four of Pentacles, the Hermit, the Temperance, Strength, and the Star that came out. And I definitely feel like sometimes you feel really stuck. The Four of Pentacles especially is one of those cards, especially in the Rider-Waite Tarot, and in this one too. This hippo has these Four Pentacles and he's holding, you know, very closely to them. And he's like got this like really almost very tight grip on them, which may cause him to feel stuck because there is kind of a bit of a fear of change energy with the Four of Pentacles. And I feel as though if you kind of take a further step back, even though this is your natural gift, sometimes you feel like it's causing you to be stuck or it's causing you to lose everything that you work so hard for. Kind of like if I let myself, you know, kind of go with the flow and open myself up, people are just going to come in and take because I don't have enough time to react. That's kind of what I'm getting from this Four of Pentacles. And I feel like the biggest message I'm getting in terms of your natural ability is to have a lot of patience with yourself. With the Temperance here, Strength card, the Lovers and the Hermit and the Knight of Pentacles, yeah, a lot of these are very slow flow energies. Strength is having, you know, I've watched a lot of Disney movies and Pixar movies lately, and the biggest thing, like motto that I've heard is there is no courage without fear. And I feel like, you know, this far, you know, you've worked so hard to get these Four Pentacles that you don't want to risk, you know, going with the flow some more or like integrating with your natural gift, with your, you know, I feel like if you're here now and if you're only focused on the here now, you'll lose everything from the past, which is not true. But I do feel like, and in order for you to, you know, interact or integrate with your gift more, because being present is such a gift, you know, that's where a lot of the anxiety and worry comes from, us thinking about the future and the past. If we're in the moment, we are able to work with what's happening in the moment. So I feel like with this Hermit mode too, like the Hermit card's all about introspection, you know, seeking personal wisdom and your truth and going into solitude. Maybe, you know, you feel like you're left behind and it's making you feel a bit lonesome because, you know, you're like, oh my God, they're already progressing so fast. Like these people, you know, maybe you're thinking, oh, all your peers and your friends are getting promoted and opening, you know, buying their houses, having kids, this and that, and maybe you're not exactly there yet because it's a slow build. You're working towards it, and I feel like working with yourself instead of against yourself is a strength, and which requires you to have more patience with yourself. Because usually the Temperance cards has in the Rider-Waite illustration has the kind of like this angel. I mean, the seal's so cute. But the angel has the 2 cups, and the 2 cups are pouring into each other. And I feel like both are you. You're both parts of you. You know, the part of you that under your subconscious, your higher self that knows, you know, going slow and steady wins the race. And the part of you that's like, okay, I need to take action now. Things that, you know, I'm feeling that need to take action now, need to happen. And I feel like having patience with both parts of you, because maybe, you know, this whole feeling like you need to rush into your next step and your next move has been, you know, given to you, has been molded for you by society, by things that we see on TV, by our parents that are, you know, that are like, okay, you know, you're this age now, you should be this successful, right? And I feel like when you give yourself more patience, and that's on both sides, giving yourself patience when you feel like you're super rushed because you're recognizing that's not in alignment with you, but that's also a part of you that was grown out of the circumstances. So that is still you, as well as this natural gift that you have of being present, integrating both and allowing yourself to feed, you know, the energy of both and bringing them into harmony. I feel like that will create much more balance and much more renewal and rejuvenation in yourself, because sometimes we shut that part of ourselves out because, you know, you're like, hey, that's not going with the times, you're not fast enough, you're not being fast enough, but it's still a part of you that you're leaving out. And it's kind of just that friend, right? I'm getting, if you've watched Winnie the Pooh, I'm getting Eeyore from that. You know, Eeyore's super slow and he's kind of just like, okay, but he still gets to where the group is going. But if you just left him behind, imagine the whole crew as you, and you just leave Eeyore behind. That's not very nice, isn't it? And so what I'm seeing here, especially with the Lovers and, you know, the Knight of Pentacles, these are all beautiful, beautiful energies. If you allow them to be, and if you allow yourself to open yourself up more to the process of being here, allow yourself to enjoy being present instead of, working with yourself instead of against yourself. So that's what I'm seeing, but let's look into your oracle cards. To get some affirmations for their messages. I'm like just checking the time. I'm sorry, excuse me. Okay, great. So this is the Soul's Journey Oracle. I film on my phone and I can't tell what time I the duration. And I don't want to keep you here forever, but pile 2, you guys are so... If you allow yourself to embrace your presentness, I feel like this will definitely help you on your journey, and it'll open up so many doors for you that you don't realize are even available to you right now. Because that's the thing that I mentioned about that rushing, right? The rabbit rushes in one direction, gets to that destination, is like, oh, okay, that's not what I wanted to do. And I'm kind of getting that in life as well. You know, there are people that, you know, rush and they go to college, they go straight for this degree, they get that job, they got the job, and they're unhappy because they just rushed to get it and they didn't sit and be present and thought about, you know, is this really what I want? Is this really something that fulfills my heart and my soul? You know, am I just here to hold on to, you know, this whatever I've gained so far because I worked, because they are investments, right? And I don't feel, and sometimes maybe if you let that part go, it's like, oh, then I just wasted so much time. And I just want to let you know that no time has been wasted. You learn so much along the way, and you can always start over. You know, you can always start from scratch if you allow yourself. But let's go into the, so what is Spirit's advice for pile 2? What is Spirit's advice for pile 2? What is Spirit's advice for pile 2? Ooh. This is adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. Oh my gosh, isn't that? Yeah, okay. What did I say? Is there anything else? Any other messages Spirit wants to let pile 2 know? New messages. Oh, there we go. And gratitude. It says, I am thankful for this life and the opportunity that it presents. And yeah, you can't see the opportunities in your present if you're not present, right? So that's quite amazing. If these two, you could use these two affirmations more often through your day-to-day. And when you say these affirmations, they can help you. It's kind of like that note, oh yeah, I have this natural gift. Let me channel this really quick, right? And it's kind of just that on and off switch if you want it to be, or that, you know, a little sticky note in the back of your head that these are to, you know, charge up your natural gifts and charge your natural abilities. And I definitely feel like you have, like I said with the hard shell in the beginning and this hermit, right? You've gained so much wisdom already through your journey till now, till the time you're reading this, watching this reading, not reading this watch. But there are no buts. You're amazing. Being present is a true underrated gift too. And I feel like you should definitely give yourself more credit. And being grateful that you have this gift, even though, you know, in your, you know, on more of the ego side of things, maybe, you know, you feel left behind, you feel like, you know, you can't catch up with everyone anymore because things are just moving so fast. But there is so much more to gain from living in the present and being able to, you know, really smell the roses of your journey. So instead of just watching it fly by. So let's see. This is the Sacred Self-Care Oracle cards. And I want to see what form of self-care can help pile 2 enhance their natural gifts. What self-care? Oh my. Okay. So literally, Spirit's like, ground yourself some more. You know, because like I said, this could be, you know, your higher self just kind of going with emotions. You're just kind of doing it, but you're not feeling it. So I feel like Spirit, especially with this ground yourself, Spirit's asking you to connect with that higher part of you that intuitively knows where you're going, that intuitively is guiding you. And, you know, I feel, and the best way to, if you want to ground yourself, is physically earthing, which is taking your shoes off and standing on some grass. You can lay on some grass or just get in touch with Mother Nature and the earth. And I feel like it'll help you connect with your intuition and your natural gift. That's literally the connection between your natural gift, is just allow yourself to feel and connect with the earth. And that is amazing, amazing, amazing. Also because too, this card is represented by the crown chakra. So when you ground yourself, you kind of, I'm getting that image of a lightning rod. You are so connected to both spirit and earth to where there's that very clear flowing of energy. And, you know, sometimes we get overload of information from spirit too. So it's kind of like that filter. Whatever you don't need, you can release into the earth and allow the earth to transmute those energies into something more productive while keeping your energetic body open to receive things from above. That's awesome. That's amazing. I mean, I'm looking at it from here too, right? You receive from the crown chakra, you bring it into your heart, does whatever else, you know, maybe there's some thoughts that don't align with you anymore, or, you know, disempowering beliefs that you don't need anymore. You can release that into the earth and allow Mother Nature to transmute those energies. But yeah, that's amazing. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. I'm gonna go ahead and end the reading here. Yeah, I do hope that it brought some clarity, that you enjoyed it. Please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel if this reading resonated with you. Let me know in the comments if it does and how it does. I love to hear about it. I know that there's not a lot of structure into my reading, but I really hope that this brought some sort of clarity and that I was able to, you know, empower you a bit, because that's what I want to do. You know, that's my goal of my channel, is self-empowerment, self-improvement, self-care, self-love, because, you know, we need more in that. And I want to be your hype man, so hello. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I do hope that you come back and see me again in another video, okay? Take care, Pile 2. Bye. Hello. This is for everyone who picked Pile 3, Group 3, Card 3, and this little bird charm here. I did set an intention when I picked the charms, as well, of course, the cards, but the card is going to represent your natural gift. And then we're going to dive into the tarot cards and more oracle cards for additional messages and advice on how we can further enhance and integrate with this natural ability of ours. So with this bird charm, if you resonated with this, I feel like you're a free bird. You know, I feel like you see yourself going very, very far, and I feel like you set your sights very high. And I also feel like you have a perspective over situations from I feel like you get a bird's eye view of any sort of situation that you may find yourselves involved with, whether intentionally or unintentionally. You know, maybe you can be that person that a lot of your friends go to for advice, because you just see things from a perspective that they may not see at the time. And I'm getting that birds of a feather flock together message coming through. But for some of you too, and this is just in the most loving way I can say this, that sometimes you can find yourself to be very flighty. In a sense that maybe you're a bit easily spooked by some things. I don't know why that just came up, but yeah, if that resonates, this is your pile. So yeah, this is for all my bird friends, all of my friends that align with the bird charm here. I'm gonna put him right here. And so let's take a look at your card. Ooh, soul healing. So this is resembled with the soul star chakra, which is 6 inches above the crown chakra. Please bear with me. I've mentioned this in every pile that retrograde is not being the nicest in terms of my communication skills, so things get jumbled. But when I see this soul healing, I feel like your natural gift, and I feel like it's exactly what I said, is you see things from totally different perspective, from a higher perspective. So when you give advice, it allows healing for all parties involved. Even if it's like kind of tough love or a harsh advice or something that they don't exactly want to hear at the time, but in retrospect, they're like, oh my gosh, this person was right. I should have listened to them before, or, you know, this could have gone so much worse if it wasn't for pile 3 and their advice, and they're helping me. And I feel like because you're so free flowing, you're such a free bird, that you are able to see and witness so much more that the world and this life has to offer. And so you're able to see things from not just from a bird's eye view, but from all perspectives, because you're able to travel to different places and see different things and different cultures and ideas and belief systems. And so it allows you to present, and I guess I'm getting that it allows you to channel healing for a lot of people. And I feel like people count on you for advice, and I'm getting, maybe you often get that you're wise beyond your years, kind of, or people are just naturally drawn to you Like if you notice people are on the street or in a store and they just come up to you and ask for advice, that if that may be an occurrence for you, because people are naturally drawn to healers, and people are you know, if it's kind of like puppies or animals, right? If animals are just drawn to you, they can sense your energy. They can tell that, you know, you don't mean them any harm. So, and that's kind of what I'm getting, but we're going to put that to the side and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into your natural gift. Because when I decided to do this pick a card, pick a pile reading, I did feel like sometimes, especially with the way things are at this time, I'm going to talk about it while I'm shuffling, the way things are going, you know, in this day and age, sometimes our natural gifts are often overshadowed because, you know, people want to dim our natural gifts, dim our abilities, this one. And they wanted to, you know, maybe growing up and conforming to, you know, society standards and what being an adult means and what, you know, you're supposed to do. And especially for you as, you know, pile 3 that picked the bird, I feel like you kind of like your subconscious kind of rebels against that. I'm kind of getting that. Also, because of the way that this bird is positioned, I'm getting that connection with, I think, the Hunger Games, like the Mockingjay and how, yeah. So very, you know, kind of revolutionary, very like a fighter. Like you fight for the things that mean a lot to you, like your freedom. If something doesn't align with, you know, or if something makes you feel very constrained, maybe, yeah. Or even constraining others, you know? Anything else? Anything else for pile 3? So far we have the Chariot, Page of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, Queen of Swords. We have the 9 of Cups. Let's get 2 more. I feel like all the past 2 piles I drew 7, so we're gonna draw 7 for you. 2 more cards for pile 3. I feel like you're a very strong communicator. Birds as well, I just think of like tweeting, and they talk a lot. And I feel like with the Queen of Swords being present here, that you are not afraid to speak your mind. And maybe, you know, for some, you know, in certain situations, I'm thinking of that one. If you've ever, I'm sorry, I'm referencing a lot of movies and a lot of other things, but maybe in if you've ever watched White Chicks, and he's like, you were thinking it, yeah, but you said it. So it's kind of like you are that person that says what's on everyone's mind, but they're just too afraid to say it. And so because, you know, it's like, oh, well, it's constraining with my freedom, so I'm just gonna be free to do me and like say my piece. That's really interesting. And I feel like that's, you know, because you're the one that says it, people often go to you and are like, wow, you're so cool. Like, you know, maybe you'll get in trouble by people that don't agree with you, but for the people that do think the way you do and that, you know, really align with your message, you know, it could be very healing for them to speak up and, you know, speak their more authentic truth too. Let's pull one more card. Oh, there it is. That is the one. That one came with a purpose. With a vengeance. And it's funny. I think this... Oh, okay. Yep. We have the 9 of Wands. So, in total, we have the Chariot, the Page of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, the Queen of Swords, the 9 of Cups, the 3 of Cups, and the 9 of Wands. I feel like you have really strong boundaries, like, especially with the Queen of Swords combined with the 9 of Wands. Like, you don't take no bullshit. You're very, very self-fulfilled. If it doesn't fulfill you, you don't want it. Like, you're just, I don't want no part of it. I'm keeping my boundaries. I also am getting to, maybe you find yourself, I'm getting a lot of you're in the right place at the right time. Like, yeah, that's one of the messages I'm getting. And with the Chariot here, the Chariot's all about movement forward, action, taking action. And I feel like that's with your communication, the way you communicate, because the soul star is above the crown chakra. It's right between the realm of the physical and the spiritual, so that, you know, you just kind of, you're very in tune with your higher self. And so the actions that you take help you turn the wheel forward and help you, you know, the Page of Cups, I feel like he's such a creative lobster, like an artist. You are the artist of your reality. And I feel like that's super beautiful and so empowering, because like I said, you know, maybe you're the one that says your piece and it inspires others to do the same. And with the Page of Cups here, the page is all about, you know, emotions and just having that, you know, very childlike understanding of emotions, to where it's almost very blunt. Like, say, I'm picturing this, there was a video I saw, and it was this mom, and she was kind of just filming herself crying and seeing how her son reacted. And he's just like, "Are you crying?" And she's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why are you crying?" And she's like, "'Cause I'm just sad." And he's like, "Is it because you miss grandma?" And she's just like, "Oh my God." You know, it's just like, sometimes as we grow older, we get a little, we don't really know how to comfort because we're afraid of saying the wrong thing. And I feel like for you, you still have this childlike expression when it comes to your emotions and when it comes to understanding emotions. So it helps you with this Wheel of Fortune. It gives you the power to change and heal others as well. Because they're like, "Oh, I didn't expect you to say that, but that's something I really needed to hear." So maybe you just have a really good way with words, because of course the bird here too, very communicative. And I feel like people just, and maybe because the Nine of Wands here talks about boundaries, right? And maybe people have been very overstepping in terms of, you know, as much as you are a light, right, in people's lives and in this universe and in this world, moths, and, you know, there are things like energetic vampires, people that don't have your best intentions, that just want to suck the life out of you, that just want to like leech onto you, and like energetic mosquitoes that just want your soul healing without any sort of exchange, without giving you anything in return. And because of that, maybe because of that, going through, you know, all of this and being your authentic self, that has allowed the wheel to turn in your favor to create these boundaries. And maybe sometimes people think that you're too straightforward, that you're too blunt, that, you know, this Queen of Swords, that you're just like, oh, you just say whatever's on your mind and you don't really have a filter. At the end of the day, I feel like it's because either it's a boundaries that was crossed, that's like, okay, yeah, no, we're just not doing that here. And you just cut them out and you're like, nope, cut the bullshit. Or, you know, you're more blunt because you say things that people are like trying to tiptoe around, but because of this understanding of your, like, those childlike emotions, those inner child emotions, it allows you to kind of cut straight to the point. It's like, it's kind of like that doctor that's, you know, that's just like, oh, where is it hurting? Oh, somewhere. You know, it's like, oh, somewhere in my body. And then you're able to just pinpoint where it is. I mean, it's more like an energetic doctor, I feel like. You know, you can kind of intuitively just spot where the problem is. You know, saying like, if I have neck pain, it's like, oh, it's because of this muscle, that muscle, blah, 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 A, B, and C, and D. Whereas maybe some people are like, oh, have you tried stretching it? Or, you know, and I feel like some people just maybe not agree with you because you're so straightforward. And maybe the things you say are for their highest good, but it doesn't make them feel good in that moment. So then that's when like these boundaries are broken. but I see so many good things about you. Like, you're so healing, and people want to celebrate you because with this Three of Cups, and they want to have this friendship, and they appreciate the support you give. And as long as you keep these boundaries, these like healthy boundaries, I feel like you are only going to go into more bigger and better things. But let's look at the oracle cards, because there is kind of like a little warning about the bluntness, right? You know, you don't want to step on the wrong toes, but at the same time, you don't want to, you know, hide yourself either, or, you know, cloak yourself into something you're not, or, you know, not say what you truly want to say. But there are people that don't have your best intentions at heart, and maybe you say the wrong thing and they're not happy with it. But that's where the boundaries is, right? You can kind of feel when someone has your best intentions and when someone has ill will and has ill intentions towards you. You can cut that shit out and just like, oh no, I don't even want to interact with you, and just, you know, fly away from the situation freely. But let's look into your oracle cards and see what Spirit's advice for you is. But I love this. Also, there's a lot of 9s here. Well, the 2 9s. So 999 may be a significant number for you. Also 10, because the 7 and 3 is 10. That's awesome. Let's see, what is... And that's part of your natural gift, that if you... Because I'm also noticing the Chariot and the Wheel of Fortune as the major arcana. If you don't feel like this is your natural gift, because I'm telling you, it is. When you allow yourself to integrate with your gift more, and you build more these healthy boundaries, you realize what is for you, what isn't for you, kind of, you know, kind of molding it to you, that fits you in whatever situation, something that's more adaptable. So it reduces the conflict and the need for conflict, but while still providing healing, right? It'll help you move forward, and it'll definitely, it's like, the wheels are only turning in your favor when you integrate with your natural gift of soul healing. So you're a natural healer. I feel like if you picked pile 3, you may be, I don't want to throw labels, but you may be like a light worker or a starseed, or you may even find yourself if you're in the medical field. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to put these 2 back because they did not come out. But I am going to draw one more. And this one is indecision. And these are the soul journey lesson cards. This one says, I use my intuition in all aspects of life. So yeah, see, it's like channeling your inner knowing into how to interact and engage with the different people that you meet along the way. So in order for you to, do your light working work, your soul healing, and provide, this light for a very dark world. But your intuition will help you discern how far you go in giving these healing without depleting yourself and without allowing others to take advantage of your light. So let's see if there's one more. Yeah. Like I said, the soul star chakra is it's like your antenna between you and spirit. And I feel like you have it. It's there. Maybe it's not, super tapped in yet, it's kind of like, I'm getting like a radio, right? Like, it's on, and sometimes you'll just be tuned in to whatever radio channel spirit has you on, but then sometimes it's just static. So then you gotta, tweak it a little bit. Wherever you go in life, you go into a different zip code, and suddenly those channels are different. So when you interact and you use your intuition to discern what those channels are, you can you turn into a master of your soul healing. You're like, oop, channel 93.5, and then, oh, I'm here, I'm meeting this person, channel 100, So allowing yourself to, use your intuition more will definitely help enhance and help integrate your natural gifts with you as you are now. And then finally, acceptance. This one says, I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. And so accepting that sometimes, you know, with light workers and healers too, sometimes we interact with people and we engage with people that just don't want to change, that don't want the healing, and that only want what feels good to them right now. So if you're this blunt and you're this straightforward and you're like, hey, you need to do this or else you're not going to heal, and they don't accept it, you know, it may hurt your pride. It may hurt you thinking, oh, am I really a healer? Am I really this, you know, transformative? Am I just a fraud? And am I just, and I'm definitely not calling you a fraud. I just feel like maybe it'll trigger some sort of imposter syndrome because they themselves don't want the healing. And learning to accept that will help you turn the wheel as well and move forward and keep continuing to heal others and interact with others instead of shutting yourself away, because now it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm not as healing as I think I am, or as, you know, or as I was told before by somebody. And to realize and to recognize that sometimes their energy is their energy. And if they want to stay stagnant and stuck, allow them to stay stagnant with stuck with love. You know, separate. That's where these 9 of Wands boundaries come from. And clear cutting, like when it's enough, it's enough. And that really will help you, you know, feel more fulfilled within and not feel so depleted. And yeah, I'm learning to accept things that I cannot change. And it takes 2 to make a relationship work. It takes 2. You can take a horse to the river, but you can't make him drink, right? So same idea here. But let's look into a final oracle card. This is the Sacred Self-Care Oracle, and we'll just see what self-care will be the most beneficial for pile 3 and their natural abilities, their natural gift. What self-care act, what self-care will help? Oh, there it is. Ooh, chanting. Interesting. Okay. And it's funny because I was talking about the radio, and it's like when you're chanting, you vibrate at the same frequency as what you're receiving. So maybe, and this is number 8. Oh, which is funny because 35, the soul healing card, is 3 and 5. So together it's 8. If you reduce it down, it's 8. So maybe some sound therapy, some, you know, chanting, meditation, you know, really allowing yourself to, because I see so much blue here as well, which indicates to me a strong focus on the throat chakra, which is all about communication and how you take what you get from spirit and translate it outward into the world. And when you're able to vibrate at the same frequency as what spirit is, you know, what you receive from your soul star chakra, it comes out clearer, not as brute, strong, just, you know, as harsh, but it's still clear, it's still concise, but it may not be as Queen of Swords like, if you know what I mean. It's not as sharp, but it's still clear and concise. So that's what I have for you, pile 3. I really hope that this resonated with you. If you watched all the way through to the end, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel if this reading resonated with you. Let me know in the comments what you think. I know I didn't have much of a structure going into this reading, but I just really wanted to make this, and I hope that it empowered you in some way. I hope that it brought some clarity. I hope that it resonated. And I hope that my lack of communicative skills wasn't too annoying, because Mercury retrograde just not nice. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope it resonated. And I do hope that you come back and see me again in another reading, in another video, okay? Take care, pile 3. Oh my gosh, who am I? Take care, pile 3. Okay, bye. Hello, hello. Welcome to your reading pile 4 or card 4, group 4. This is for everyone who picked this, this card because they all look the same, but this charm, which is a little bumblebee. I did have an intention when I picked the charms specifically. The cards I shuffled and then just drew based on the charm that I picked. But if you resonated with pile 4 and the bee, I feel like already you're very hardworking. You're definitely a team player. But I can also feel like you kind of overwork a bit. And I feel like there needs to be a bit of a balance when it comes to, kind of work and play, because you're such a hard worker. You are that worker bee. And I kind of am getting like you're always on the go. You're always buzzing around, pollinating and, sharing your gifts. And I feel like just seeing the charm by itself, I feel like this is, if you haven't been taking a break lately and haven't been easy on yourself to kind of, allow your wings to rest a little bit and to recognize that there's more than enough honey to go around. But yeah, that's what I'm saying for this. So I'm going to put them right here. So yes, this is your pile. I'm sorry. Please bear with me. I am filming this during a retrograde, even though this is a timeless reading. You may also be watching this during a future retrograde, but since I'm filming this during a retrograde, my speech is a little weird. My communication is off. Things are just no bueno. Like, my internet will cut off randomly, and so yeah. I'm so sorry. But this card is going to represent your natural gift, and then we're going to expand on it, dive a little bit deeper, and also get with tarot cards. And then we're also going to get some additional messages and advice from other oracle cards. So your natural ability gift is abundance. And I feel like with the bee too, and it's just as like a disclaimer, I didn't look at these cards, I didn't like pick them to match. I, shuffled and I drew them with the intention of going with this, whoever picked this pile. But I feel like you have a natural abundant energy about you. And I feel like maybe you don't, sometimes, like I said, you work so hard for your abundance. And so maybe, you naturally draw these opportunities to you. Even if you feel like, I'm kind of getting that maybe even if you feel like you're lacking abundance, you're still in that, since it's your natural gift, it kind of just flows to you. And then I'm not saying abundance as in like you're super wealthy. I mean, you may be, or you just find yourself to be at the right place at the right time, very lucky. Also, with this as being the number 8, I do, the 8 to me represents like more of the infinity sign. So kind of the energy you put out, like all this hard work, you do see the fruits of your labor returning to you. And with this card too, it's represented by the root chakra with all this red here. So I feel like, you have a very natural connection to the earth, very grounded. You kind of, especially because with the bee here, the bee has a very essential part in our, natural way of life. And I do feel like you bring out kind of that essence of the circle of life. The bee, goes to the flower and pollinates and, spreads the pollination around, which helps the other flowers, and then also making the honey, and the honey is eaten by the humans, and things like that. It's just like that it's a very abundant cycle, right? Whatever the bee puts their hands on, whether it's pollen, they spread it, they makes more flowers, they create honey, which is very fruitful and very abundant in itself too. Honey is also, it's like Isn't that like a saying of milk and honey? It's a very like ever flowing stream of abundance. See, I'm like trying to channel this, and I'm getting just, even sometimes I feel like sometimes you may doubt yourself in terms of your gifts, and you know, maybe sometimes you get to a point where you're like, is my luck just gonna run out? Like, when is it? And that may cause some like paranoia and cause you to like, and that's where I got the kind of the energy of, you know, maybe you're overworking yourself and, you know, trying so hard to make sure that you don't run out of this abundance. And that's also, I feel like, why I mentioned, you know, there's more than enough honey to go around, because you have this natural gift of abundance because you're so grounded and so rooted. At the same time, you could also be very affected by the changes that occur in the natural 3D world, you know, natural disasters, things like that, you know, current events. You can be heavily affected by those circumstances, which can also cause you to feel not so abundant, even though you naturally are, and you naturally attract that abundance. So this could be both this is your gift, but the reason why I wanted to do this specific reading was because, you know, especially with these, you know, times nowadays, it's very hard to see more than all the problems that are going on in the world. And I do want to, you know, recognize you for your gifts and, you know, your natural abilities and the things that society and, you know, the construct of societal norms may have dimmed down, and I want to bring them to the surface so you can relish in your natural gifts and expand on it and flourish from it and be even more abundant from it. Because I am kind of getting that feeling of, if I don't work, then I'm gonna lose it all. So you constantly work, and I'm like, don't work yourself to death is what I keep getting. And I feel like you have a very strong sense of camaraderie with, you know, I'm getting like that hive, that tribe kind of a feeling where, you know, you see them all, you know, struggling, and you feel it within yourself. And so you feel like you're struggling. And I feel like it's kind of a whole, that's what happens when you feel very rooted, right? You also integrate with the roots of the environment, and you become much more ingrained with everything else going around too. So we're going to put that here. Also, I'm noticing Ganesh here too. And a lot of this gold. So gold may be a significant color for you. Or you may resonate very much with elephants or the with Ganesh. I'm sorry, I like almost forgot my wording. This whole reading has been quite a challenge. But we're here and we're gonna do it. And we're gonna go through this together. So let's look at your oracle, your tarot cards. Let's like dive a little bit further deeper into your natural gifts, because I do want to hype you up, and I feel like, yeah, I feel like sometimes the world can be a bit discouraging, and it can dim down your shine, and I want to bring it out. And maybe too, you know, before you have been very naturally abundant, you're like that lucky charm. And so maybe people have taken advantage of you to the point where subconsciously you kind of lock that skill, that gift away, because people are like, oh, let me get some of that luck, rub some of that luck off on me. So we have the Three of Cups here. Yeah, see, the Three of Cups, ooh, and the Nine of Wands talks a lot about boundaries. The Three of Cups is like friendship, supports, and celebration. But I feel like too, sometimes these people that come in, you have to kind of discern, are these people kind of celebrating you for you, or celebrating you because, you know, of your good luckness? Like, they seem to, you know, you seem to attract abundance wherever you go, and people want to be a part of that, but they may not have the best intentions in mind. Let's see. Ooh, see, Ace of Pentacles. The Knight of Wands talks a lot about boundaries and setting those boundaries with people that may, because, you know, the Three of Cups generally represents friendship and support and like good things, but I'm kind of getting an underlying, like a hidden motivation for it, like, oh, we're best friends because you're so successful, and maybe if you're successful, rub off on me and I'll become successful. Like I'm kind of getting that like side conversation that they're having with themselves on why they want to be your friend or, you know, interact with you. Ooh, the Son of a Pentacle. See, and I feel like too, you work really hard to see, like a be aggressive. I'm just kidding. Don't be aggressive, but be discerning. Let's see, 2 more, because I did draw 7 cards for all the other readings, so we're gonna draw 2 more. Oh, well, we're gonna take this one because that was on the bottom and I saw it first. 1 more card for pile 4. Yeah, I feel like your natural ability has definitely brought both, I mean, really good things, but also it could have brought a lot of challenges as well. With the 3 of Swords here, the 3 of Swords is like a lot of heartbreak, and maybe too you have, you know, you're just naturally lucky. Maybe you win the lottery a lot, or, you know, you have a way with, you know, betting and gambling, and maybe you're just really lucky in terms of that, and maybe people have taken advantage of it, causing you to feel really crappy about yourself, honestly. There's just, these cards just don't want to cooperate. I'm so sorry. Okay, that one will like flew out and jump back. So we have the 5 of Swords. Yeah, and I feel like all this hurt has caused maybe, and like I said, you know, your natural gifts are a natural gift. However, due to, you know, external forces, things like that, like circumstances and the way you were raised and grow up, and things could affect this gift. So I feel like because, you know, you were so abundant, you had so much material abundance, you know, people kind of picked at it. Maybe they were like, oh, you're just there's just nothing that goes wrong in your life, and you're just so lucky and this and that. And, you know, maybe they come in and they, you know, offer friendship, but they leave you feeling heartbroken, and so it's caused you to have sort of this have more of this 5 of Swords, like porcupine, like defensive energy, because they hurt you, because they were deceptive. But I feel like if you pick this group, that your natural gift of abundance comes from the feeling of abundance, and maybe they don't, and I feel like not allowing them to destroy your feeling of abundance is very important, and it requires some boundaries, right? Discerning between like these people that are truly your friends and truly there to support you and support your growth, and, you know, want more abundance for you instead of from you. It'll help you move forward. And I do see here, and it's interesting too, because you see like the bees here, there's like 2 bees and they're holding the canister and they're all watering this plant of abundance. And I feel like with, you know, that discernment and finding those people that are part of your bee tribe, it'll help create more abundance for your circle and for your community, rather than the hurt and the pain and suffering caused from people or circumstances that may have cheated you out of, you know, your feeling or your gift. Yeah, and I feel like too, because yeah, that's kind of what I was getting, you know, when people see, you know, they're like, oh, you're just so lucky, this and this and that, and maybe, you know, that caused a lot of pressure on you to in turn perform more, in order to gain their friendship and to gain, you know, validation that I am lucky, I'm super abundant. And even when some days, you know, things don't go maybe your way, or things that, maybe life happens, right? And things don't exactly fall into place. And then so people are like, oh, well, that's disappointing. I thought you were a lucky charm. I thought you brought abundance and stuff. What happened? And so that causes so much hurt. And it causes you to disbelieve more of yourself and your abundant energy. But when we shift the gears and we change it into feeling more abundant within, instead of having the outside validate your internal abundance, that creates this movement forward, this change into more of a collaborative setting, more than just I'm performing for you, or I'm hardworking, I'm working my ass off to supplement you, or whoever you is. So that's what I'm seeing. Yeah, I'm definitely getting a lot of this watery. It's very interesting because we have like 2 swords, we have these 2 cup energy, these 2 pentacle energies, and then the Knight of Wands. So it's it has a lot to do with 2. So maybe it's like, that interaction you have with another person, and maybe it has to do with, a balance of how you view abundance as well. Are you taking this idea of abundance from what other people, your group, has placed upon you, or does it come from within and like express outward? So that's what I'm seeing. And I'm really sorry if this is a little confusing, and if this doesn't resonate, because I'm not really getting a whole lot more. But you are very abundant. I just want to say that, yeah. You're naturally super abundant, whatever abundance means to you. Abundance as in, when people see you, they feel like you provide a lot energetically. Like, you don't have to give them anything, and they feel like you're giving them a lot. You just have that natural gift to express abundance about you. But if you're feeling depleted, right? If you don't feel like you're abundant, then that could in turn show outwardly, right? It comes from within outward. And so when people see that, and the bees, the word travels, and they're like, oh, well, you're supposed to be super abundant, and I don't feel that from you, so now I'm disappointed in you, and now I don't, you're, and then you start feeling very hurt and a lot of pain and conflict within you, because these swords are not a part of you, but you have created bigger spikes to protect yourself from this hurt. So yeah, I definitely feel like connecting with your heart is very important, because I do see a lot of green here, and especially with this being the root chakra, maybe, like I said, you could be very heavily affected by current times and everything happening in the 3D, like natural disasters, and things like that, and people in pain, and you can feel that. Like, I'm getting like that empath type of an energy. And so when you're feeling abundant, other people, and I feel like you're like a mirror, right? And so when you're feeling abundant, people look at you and they feel abundant, and it's that energetic transfer. But when you feel, not so great, and you feel hurt and pain, they see the same pain, so then they want to reject it, is what I'm picking up on. And so then that turns into an overcompensation to try to get them to see past the hurt without actually addressing the hurt within you. And it takes a lot of work. It takes a team to work on it. But just realize that, like I said, there's more than enough honey to go around. Not everyone wants the same type of honey either. Not everyone even wants honey. And that's something we have to be okay with as well. Not everyone wants the exact same dream, So once we realize that, it can definitely help us feel more confident in what we're attracting and the feeling of abundance, because, some people want money, some people want a car, but what kind of car? There's so many, right? And not everyone wants the exact same kind of car, or same model, same year, same color even. So there's definitely enough for you. And I'm like heavily noticing the heart pentacle here, and it starts from within. What are the things that make you feel abundant, that make you, you know, this natural gift of yours will naturally bring up more of that to you. If it is what you truly want, if it is an alignment with what you feel is abundance, not what other people think is abundance, or think that, or may be abundant to them, but maybe it doesn't align with you. So let's look into your oracle cards to get some advice on how we can enhance, how can you enhance your natural gift? How can power 4 enhance our natural gift? We have surrender. It says, I can release my need to control. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, surrendering to the natural ebb and flow of life instead of trying to, you know, like I said, to either appease others or to appease yourself, to feel the need to control an outcome of, like I said, it's a natural gift, right? You don't have to control the abundance that comes to you. It's like holding on to something so tight to where it doesn't have the freedom to leave or draw more to you. So that's what I'm seeing. Is there another card? What is another message for? Oh, there's that one. And service. Okay. This one says, I feel good when I can help others. And like, I feel like that really ties in with the 7 of Pentacles here. It's almost like, you know, maybe, you know, you have this natural gift, but sometimes it needs, you know, nurturing. It needs practice. This gift needs, you know, constant work and working with others and co-creating, right? It's a co-creation with the universe to bring your abundance to you. And when you feel good, you attract good. And when you feel good when helping others, it creates that ripple effect that other people want to help you. So it creates like a sense of community. And it's really interesting that that's what I picked up. And also releasing the need to control other people's reactions to you. Because with the 3 of Swords and the 5 of Swords coming at the end, I feel like, you know, there's having that need to meet an expectation that someone has is also a sense of control, right? Controlling how they see you, controlling, you know, the aspects of you that they don't see, that they don't find valuable, because the people that find you valuable will come to you, but you also just need to discern, you know, where to draw the line and what matches with your energy and what is for your highest good and the highest good of others as well. So let's look into a final oracle card to see what this is the self-care oracle deck, the sacred self-care oracle. And let's see what form of self-care can file. See, I'm so sorry. I'm like all over the place. Like my head is spinning. But what form of self-care can pile 4 do to enhance their natural gift of abundance? What self-care does pile 4 need to know? What does pile 4 need to know to enhance their natural gift of abundance? Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I'm like, I don't know. Just, I hope these messages came out clear. Okay, that's dance. I love it. So dancing, maybe if you've been feeling stuck or just slightly, I don't want to say like unmotivated, but a bit, I'm so sorry, my camera's shaking, but a bit stagnant, I feel like moving your body can definitely help you, you know, you loosen up the energy from the rest of your body, and it can allow space for new energy to come in. Dancing is such a great way to like express yourself and to, you know, it's kind of like also allowing yourself to lose control in the sense of movement. Sometimes we get so caught up in how we act one way or another. Dancing is that free expression, that freedom, you know, of, you know, release of constraint, and just do what feels good to you in the moment that you're listening to music, you're dancing, you're, you know, and that creates that vibration within your own body to attract more abundance into your life and more of the abundance that you want into your life. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the reading here. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. If this reading resonated with you, let me know in the comments how it does, if it does. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that it brought some sort of clarity. I hope you realize that you are so powerful. You are so much more powerful than you realize. Pile 4, as well as if you picked any other pile, but you are extremely powerful. There are some things that can challenge your power, but your resiliency as a little bumblebee, as a little bee making the honey, your resiliency is what will help move your abundance in and what will help you move forward. So yeah. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you come back and see me in another video. Okay, so yeah, take care, Pile 4. Bye.